Hello, fellow engineers. Welcome you all to this webinar organized by Electrical, Electronics, and Telecommunication Engineering Sector Committee of ISL. Today, we have a very special session. It is about Electrical, Electronics, and Telecommunication Charter. Part 2, Electrical, Electronics, and Telecommunication Charter. We are about to start our session. We know it's a hybrid session. We hope all of you will keep your mics muted throughout this session. And we have a time specifically reserved for your questions. And we surely know most of you will have questions. And today we have a very special person. We have invited him for this session. He is Engineer E.W. Sarat. Welcome you to this session. As per the agenda, it's the welcome speech to be delivered by Electrical, Electronics, and Telecommunication Engineering Secretarial Committee Chairman, Engineer Chamil. Over to you, Engineer Chamil.
Thank you, Engineer Linda. Thank you very much for delivering the opening remarks. On behalf of Electrical, Electronics, and Telecommunication Engineering Sectional Committee of the IES, I welcome you all for this very important and timely subject of the pathway to Electrical, Electronic, and Telecommunication Charter. So as Engineer Milinda told, we have special guest who is one of the senior most vice president at IESL, and he is also council, and he is the chairman of the CPD committee. And I must welcome the vice deputy chairman, Engineer Nawardana, and secretary of the Electrical Section Committee, and all who are gathered, and council members, and all who are gathered here, and also online, in the home or maybe in office. So please raise your questions. It's very important. Actually, 1 hour before I got this in my mind that I think we should touch some of the criteria of international professional engineer also. If let's say in the question and answer session, I am delivering that question upfront. So that could be very important to you also, because for that you need the charter. For charter, what you're going to do. So that is what we need to deliver to you. Okay, then without further ado, I must hand over to Engineer Melinda for continuing this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Chamil. Now it's the time we all have been waiting. It's a session to be started by Engineer Sarat. So I would like to invite Engineer Sarat to start this session and share his knowledge, experience, and know-how with you all. Just a reminder, during this speech, if you get any questions, you are welcome to drop those questions in the chat box. We will pick it up from there. During the question and answer session, we will ask those questions from Engineer Sarat so that those questions can be answered. Thank you. Over to you, Engineer Sarat.
Good evening to you. Hope you are all audible. So with your permission, and that is, I don't want to be seated, so then I stand. Well, this is I'm joining from the council room. Thank you, Engineer Kamil Muni and Secretary Malinda and other gentlemen who are joining from studio and online for this session. fast way to start it's a very generic presentation, but I will touch the areas especially for everybody. Now, before going that, this is I want to say that this is scope. The scope is provide a step-by-step guidance for electrical engineers, electronic and telecommunication engineers to face for the professional review process in order to obtain corporate membership of I. Now you have two buzzwords: corporate membership and start. Okay. Now, to summary, I will end here. Yeah. Who is a chartered engineer? Now, we know our dream, most in the school time, when we did the A level, we have a dream to become a engineer. That is our childhood dream and our ambition. But at that time we never thought of having a child, because we did not know. Is it audible now? Is it audible? Is it audible? Is it audible? Now it's okay. Now, we have never thought of having a chart. Well, just so we want to become an engineer. Right? We want to become an engineer. It's our childhood dream. And one of the prestigious professional qualification to become an engineer or doctor. No one can argue it. So we entered the university. We follow the degree. Full-time, 4-year engineering degree. After fulfilling this requirement, now we can pass out from it. Then we have to think where we are heading. Actually, engineer means associate engineer. I don't like to use that word, but somehow Engineer Council Act is used as associate engineer. So pardon me, I had to use that word. It is not a complete attribute, not a complete qualification. Chartered engineer is a complete qualification. Complete means he is the person who can resolve complex engineering problem. Complex engineering problem. There are 3 problems you have to keep in mind. Simply defined problem, broadly defined problem, complex engineering problem. Pardon me, I will get an example from a civil engineering field, but it is well known by everyone. Right? For example, when you want to get your house constructed, tiling, you need a tiling, the man who knows about tiling, tile bars. An electrician, plumber. Their problem is simply defined problem. Right? Somehow his work should be supervised by someone. That supervisor should be able to know broadly defined problem. He is able to see the drawing and understand the drawing, but he cannot give the structural elements, calculation to the client. When it comes to the chartered engineer, he is the person. He is the complex problem solver. Now the complex problem solver, broadly defined problem solver and simply defined problem solver. This is the standard definition. Right? So then it comes to in my slide, capable of assuming professional responsibility, analysis and application of engineering principles. Analysis of application of engineering principles. Right? Take an example. In an electrical engineer, where you should keep the transformer placed. Not the way want that your politician asked. You must know the load center calculation. From that point, you can have the optimal voltage regulation to have a transformer. But if you fix a transformer in a different place, what will happen? The voltage regulation is issue. Then you must have the analytical knowledge. Right? In case of telecommunication engineer, you want to set up a data center. Where is the best place to have a data center? You must know that where is the best place is data center. It should be accessible to, it should be well protected place, free from lightning damages, right? And proper security be provided. In addition to your electrical engineering or telecom engineering knowledge. Right? When you fix a tower, where is the best place? Where is the best place your customer get the 4G coverage? Otherwise, you can fix anywhere. You can't. So therefore, this analytical knowledge is in here. So in here, most important part is doing the investigation, planning, design, construction. Investigation. Investigation. Right? The word is investigation. Sometimes some people will understand that what the hell engineers are going to do investigate. It is a part and parcel of a chartered engineer's job to investigate. My first job in the Sri Lanka Telecom, very first day, I can remember 25th of May 1984, right? So then 27th of 1984, May, my director has asked of me, there's a lightning damage, go and investigate it. Go and investigate it. What are the causes of having this damage? From which point lightning came? Give an analytical report. Provide the facts and figures. At that time, I just newly born engineer. Just an infant to the engineering program. Then I had to consult my chartered senior engineer, who is a chartered engineer, to get more advices from him. How should I do the investigation? How can I find investigation and find the root cause? Then I must use my knowledge from the university. How a lightning comes. Where are the possible areas? How the grounding is provided, and what value? What is the value? 2 ohms. And what are the surge reduction filters I should provide it? Or SFDs. What are the class A protection, class B protection, class C protection? So those are the things. So now you can see that here he should involve with identification of solution to the problem. He should identify problem, not only identify solution. He must provide a solution. right? අතවල වගේ FN එක ගහන්න උඩ දාන්න බෑ. That you have to do because why? You have to provide a solution to the problem. Please be mindful that when you provide a solution, only solution there may be 2 or 3 options, not only one solution. Then your experience, your training, if you are a chartered engineer, you have the brain, you can use your brain to identify what is the best option. You can see best out of 3 or 5, but at the calculated risk. Somehow you will have to live with the risk. Be mindful that we are not living in a perfect world. Today you can take a decision, that decision is at a risk. But you have to take a decision with a calculated risk. But to do the calculated risk, you must be able to know the risk. How you can identify the risk based on your knowledge, based on your skill, based on your experience, it's so-called competencies. Okay, now in here, his or her work requires supervise the technical and managerial work of the others. Now, engineer cannot work isolate. You have technical officers. They are the, as I said, problem. Sometimes they can solve the problems. What kind of problem? Broadly defined problem. You must be able to supervise it. You must be able to manage it, both technically and non-technically. Right? So, and professional judgment is the key. Professional judgment. What is the professional judgment? Right? For example, if someone can come and say, because of your tower, my TV getting damaged, you don't like. Somebody can complain. Then you are an engineer providing the maintaining this site, tower, or telecom or dialogue, Hacho, Lankabel, or whoever it is, Mobitel. Can he say that answer? No, you can't say no. You have to give a professional judgment. Sometimes the story may be true. His version may be true. May not be true, but you will have to investigate. Right? So, professional judgment, and in here, profitable management and in commercial enterprises. Kindly note that. When we engineers take the decision, it should be technically feasible and financially or economically viable. That is, keep in mind. Right? Some results you can achieve with the 500,000. But somebody can say, even I can spend the 2 million and achieve the same thing. But no point. No point. Why? It should be finally we are playing with the resources. Money is a resource. Money is a resource. Not only money, material, the resource. Right? So, in here, so those things now with our hardened engineer in Sri Lanka, it is now protected work by the law. Under the Engineering Council Act, there are 6 practitioners named. Highest position is chartered engineer. To become a chartered engineer, he or she must be a corporate member of IS. Second, associate engineer. I don't like that word, but we are now fighting for it. Okay. Associate engineer means 4-year graduate, engineering graduate. Degree should be obtained from the recognized university. or equivalent. Number 3, affiliate engineer. That is who has completed 3-year engineering. Right? Other I'm going to go. Others, diplomates, incorporated engineer, diplomates, and technicians. Last 3 categories are not belonging to IAS. It's a double IAS. Now, if a chartered engineer is in Sri Lanka, legally, he is allowed to practice as a chartered engineer. Only for IESL corporate. There may be a lot of arguments going on here and there. Why the other foreign country person comes here? Why can we can describe it as a chartered engineer? We can't do it. Because anywhere in the country, any profession, as our secretary is an attorney, even in England, barrister comes to Sri Lanka, they can't practice in Sri Lanka unless they get the attorney. Even you get the MBBS London, come to Sri Lanka, you have to get the Sri Lanka qualification. But there may be exemptions. Like in Sri Lanka also, we are not undermining others. It is a law. If any foreign charter holder comes to Sri Lanka, he must show his competency and get our membership. There is a path for that. Right. Now, in here, this is very important. Dignity and reputation. Are we really maintain the dignity and reputation of his profession and to safeguard public interest of matters of safety, environment and health and otherwise? Very, 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 very. In electrical engineer, when you are electrical contractor, when you are doing some projects, you will have to make sure that safety number 1. What is safety? First thing is the living beings, human and non-human. Number 2, equipment. Number 3, service. This is the village. Therefore, all protection we should plan it without thinking about the service. Number 1 is what? Human safety. Human safety may be your consumers, non-consumers, and public can otherly. Right? So, and your dignity and reputation. What the word dignity? You can't demand. But dignity follows you based on your action. Right? I must maintain my dignity, how the way I behave. I should not engage with the malpractice. This is addressed in the Code of Ethics. I am not going to touch due to the time constraint. Now, yeah. Now, what are the prerequisites to become a chartered engineer? One thing is the education. For education, become 4 engineering degree or equivalent. Another one, training and PR process. Training plus here should be correct. Training plus experience. Training plus experience. Because now this educational requirement, I told you, I will skip. Recognized training is what? 24 months are including implant under a chartered engineer. 24 months. Now you will have to understand what is the difference between a training and experience. Right? Training really is. Now, for example, how can this be? In Sri Lanka, when an engineer passed out, he is allowed to practice. But in Singapore and other developed countries, not allowed. He must work under a professional engineer in case of Singapore. So UK is under chartered engineer. He is allowed to assist until the training is complete. But in case of Sri Lanka, due to the shortage of resources, first appointment that we are giving a responsible person, like an area. I am not going to say that it is a good or bad. Then debatable. Otherwise, you will lose a job if you are going to. But here the training means structured training. Structured training means when you pass out from the university, what is your achievement? You achieve 2 attributes or 2 competency levels. What are those? You have the sound theoretical knowledge because you have followed 130 credit total credit. For electrical engineering, for example, you have followed electrical installation, high voltage engineering, electrical machines, power systems, control systems. In case of electronic and telecom, electronics, right? Telecommunication, data communication, signals and analysis. What else? Wireless communication, etc. Right? Those provide your knowledge, the 2 attributes. What is the first attribute? Sound theoretical knowledge. What is sound theoretical knowledge? You know how a high voltage pulse is defined. What kind of waveform it is. In telecommunication, how you align 2 antennas to get the maximum decibel. How the optical fiber we place without what is the maximum length you can lay, and minimum interval you have to provide the repeaters. How you can use the amplifier, your gain is calculated. How you design an amplifier, how you deploy a DC motor drive, industrial application. Those theoretical knowledge, number 1, that is assessed by your 4-year degree course. Then second thing is, you in a during university, you must do a design project. What are the individual projects? Why is it? How to apply your theory knowledge into practical application to have a desired outcome or benefit or result. Right? So those 2 attributes you have. Is that enough to work independently? No. Sometimes you have learned prototype. But actual situation, for example, if we go to the power station or power control center, system control center, or data center, right? Or give the distribution network. Then only you can see huge switchgears, how those operate, what are the practical considerations, what is the best approach, etc. So those things you must get certain training. That is why we need define minimum 24 months is required under a chartered engineer. Right? So when you write the report, some people they do the mistake, they start the writing the report. Responsible experience, they are writing it It comes first. You can't get the responsible experience without a proper training. During your training first 24 months, can you gain leadership, communication? You can get to a certain extent, but you can't. And professional conduct. So the first two attributes we further strengthen, like your engineering knowledge and practical application by the training field. That is why you need a minimum 24. But you are placed as the area electrical engineer, area telecom engineer. But you feel that I am responsible. Yes, you are taking the responsibility. But that period, actually, you are getting a training. It's a structured training. And after 2 years only, now somebody can ask why you put the 2 years or 1 year. It is a empirical data. In practice by the, what is the empirical data? Empirical data means it is a no hard and fast rule, but only based on the certain experience, we have taken empirical data. Right? So here, another 24 months under a challenge. Then you know how to write a report. Yeah, that means your leadership. Here the leadership means what are the leadership attributes required to work as a telecommunication engineer, electrical engineer. How you can get a leadership? You have a telecommunication network. You can be placed as the OPMC manager. Then what is your responsibility? What is your responsibility? One day in the interview, somebody has answered me, same answer again by the electrical engineer as well. I will assign the work to supervisor. It is not the answer panel. Because everyone can hand over the job to supervisor to do that. What is your responsibility? Your responsibility is you have to ensure that your targets are achieved. You must provide the leadership to them to achieve not your target, your company target. Right? You have to conduct the progressive meetings. You have to monitor the KPIs. Right? You have to discuss about the deviations, do the improvements, and necessary escalation to the top. Sometimes you have to escalate some problem beyond your control. Right? Those things you cannot get unless you have a proper train. Then you can get, slowly you can gain through the. Okay. Now, those are the I expect. These are the competencies. What are the competencies? Understanding of engineering principles. How power station is constituted of one part. How the two bus bars are connected. What is the sending and voltage receiving input? What is the T model and pi model? Long distance transmission line, short distance. In case of telecommunication, how that is a radio network is operated, how it is propagated, right? How the antennas are positioned. What is the best place to have a fiber node? Those are engineering. How that is earthing is provided. How the lighting protection be provided. Right? How your electrical machines are installed. How the electrical wiring is tested. Right? What kind of capacity, what is the capacity to require for your serve the purpose? Those are the. And number 3, managerial involvement. Here I am telling the managerial involvement with certain leadership attributes. Engineer should be a leader. The managerial involvement is today, we can argue, when you cannot, you can be a manager dummy first. But result-oriented managers, we need a result-oriented. Engineer should provide the results. What are the results? It will result is a benefit for someone else. Your company may be benefited. Pereira and Phila living in the street may be benefited, country may get benefit. The engineer role is what? Responsibility. Roles are responsible. He had to play a role in a way that produce the results which will benefit to the consumers, company, finally to the country. Okay. Now, these number 4 interpersonal skills involved with the society. Number 4 is professional conduct, like the safety practices, your character, moral conduct. Now, I am going to say, I have these 5 attributes. Can anyone accept it? No. Then someone should test. Over time, we can assess karna. PR process, what you are going to do? We have to assess you. Do an assessment. In the assessment, the PR process, you must show the evidence. Right? That is your training and experience report. You must show the evidence. While doing this project, I have achieved this competence. While doing this operation, I have achieved this technical skill. Because of area engineer, I had to deal with the GS, AGS, sometimes judges, MPs, etc. My communication skills, interpersonal skills, right? And your professional conduct. So I got many awards sometimes, and sometimes I have done the classes, the ISL, and outside people, some you have trained the technical officers. Not only you have to train your people. You must be act as a resource person. Okay. Then you will have to show the evidence. Right? How you can show the evidence? But to write the report with the evidence. Right? Then the first step is what? If I am an evaluator, I go to your report. Let's study. If my first feeling is that this is the person, even cannot write a simple sentence, what is my first thinking? I am here not going to say that you should be a Shakespeare to get the chance. You must be a highly literate and high flown language. It's good that you can, but it is not a mandate. Here I am really effective communicator. But when you write a report, grammar, I am not going to perfect part, but up to certain. So you have to type. After writing the report, you can show someone. So that is the first step. You have to write the report. What you have to write the report? You say this is the training I got. I saw a transformer, how is installed? Then what are the earthing resistance? So how did I measure the earthing? And where is placed? How the structure? All the things you will have to provide the evidence. Then you can say this technical, this now competency number 1 I achieved because of this project. Competency number 2, I have tested the servers, server room, data center project involved. Right. Right? I involved with this project. Another problem. When you write the report about the project, you must specify what is your role in the project. Some mega projects they are posting over the mega projects. I did mega project. You can't do even without getting charter. You cannot do any the project as a project director. But you have to say that this is my director undertook project. This is my director's role. This is project manager. This is my role. You will have to emphasize on what your role. You are an implementation engineer. How did you prepare test plan? You can give an example. What are the provisional accepted tests you carried out? What readings you have taken? What are the mistakes I learned? Those are the things. Right? Now, after that, those are the documents to be submitted. I am not going to give you a PR process lecture because it is in a PR manual, you can read it. But I short and say, duly filled at the time of submission certificate, training experience, logbook, CB report. After the action report, define a project. Okay. Now, step 1, B paper. You have to pass the B paper. Then the step 2, once you submit the document, eligibility checking. We check the eligibility. If we feel that you are not eligible, you can pass that gate. Say positively, then step 3, presentation Y1 A paper. When you come to the presentation, you will have to make a 20 minutes presentation. You have to well time. And you will have to present it based on your project and the trend. Sometimes I have seen some people, they are like a research. They produce the research tables unnecessary in the presentation. Not only key figures, sorry. You will have to say, who am I? I'm Sarah. Where I work. What are the key areas I learned during my training period? Right? Those are you have to emphasize. And number 3, another one, the project outcome. Some people they are talking project. But when we ask simple question, what is the project outcome? Why you plan the project? Somebody can say, what is your project? We install additional transformer, power transformer. Then they ask, why you installing? It may be sometimes improve the voltage regulation or increase the capacity or both. You have to emphasize the benefits. When you talk the project should be the provide the benefits. What are the benefits? That your voltage regulation improve, customer is happy. What's the benefit? Then cost benefit realization. As I told you earlier, what economically feasible, viable, technically feasible. Technically feasible, financially, economically viable. Okay. So then you will have to face for the Viva after the presentation. Why the panelists expect from you? Panelists expect to ask questions only from your training report and your presentation and your project report. For example, one electrical engineer, he may not be conversant in the generation. But we know in a 4 years time in the CB or somewhere, you cannot cover the whole spectrum. telecommunication as well. Somebody in the another private company, so you can't do that. Sometimes you have only engaged in the electrical installation, MV and HV, and somebody MV and LV. That is okay. Because you cannot work, but only the UN must know the fundamentals. Somebody asked, what is the translation? What is the translation line character? That is right. But when you come to the question why normally, that is why we put a panel, we want to test whether you have assessed, whether we can assess you, whether we are satisfied with your performance, whether you have those competency required by ISO. And candidate should show his or her competence that I have achieved. You must show your competence. So when we are, even I am evaluator, I am asking whether he is competent, whether he has gained some competence. You cannot show your competence unless you achieve this competence. This you have to understand, right? Right. These are the contents of, and another thing, evidences, roles and responsibilities. Well, what are here? You will have to say your role and your job specificity. And how these roles and responsible the organization chart as support to give. Right? And due prominence shall be given to explain the safety. Make a most important part. Most of the report I have noticed that, especially electrical, electronic and telecom engineers, safety. Safety is a must. Right. Another one. Standard terminology shall be used. So one gentleman in the interview told, what is your manpower strength? He said, sir, I have 4 gangs. Then I immediately asked him to refer to the dictionary gang. Gang is the outfit of a notorious criminal. The problem is I can understand what he meant by gang. But if he is facing with the interview like an Australian fellow, Suddha fellow, what will happen? He said that he is like a mafia guy. So you see, gang is not that. He said, say the outfit of thief. Those things you must, international accepted terminology should be stated there. That is for the effective communication. I am not undermining anything. So this is a lesson learned. I also, if I were in your age, I also would have done the same mistake. But that is why if we do the mistake, we'll have to tell the next generation, don't do that mistake. Right? So therefore, international standard terminology and traces shall be used. Now, project report. What is the project as I told you? When you fix a transformer or when you fix a new network, so you can put a new product in the telecommunication product, right? You put a fiber node. What are the benefits? So those are the things you will have to specify. Another one, the high level technical content shall be only high level content, like a process level. Don't waste the time to write it many small things. This is not your interview or that is your report. We are not going to test your research ability. You can do it in MPhil, right? But you can produce some certain sample of it. Otherwise, meaningless. Okay. But it depends, huh? No hard and fast rule. But if you want to say certain set of data, you have to provide it. You can provide it. But what you have to do? You have to provide it data, relevant data. You can say it is a relevant data. Right? High level content, not very go to the low level of design level. So here we are checking within 1 hour time. We are checking you because the report is duly endorsed by four chartered engineers, and you have the experience report. So we cannot take an use. Right? Now, how the project did contribute to your five competencies achieved shall be stated with proper justification. Here, not archived, this is achieved. Right? The project actor, note how you achieve the five competencies. In your your role is project. Product I am telling you, I am going to say that when you apply for a charter, normally we are in 4 years or 5. There is few people who are coming after 10 years time. Sometimes you write the project manager role. But my opinion, project manager role is not a technical job. In Sri Lanka, it is very misunderstood. But project engineer is more relevant due to get the time. Project manager is a person who manages the project. But what the project approved project charter is there, when you manage the project. He is only manage the project. But some project managers, they have the engineering competence. But in here, more important as your role as a project teacher. But if you are appointed as a project manager, but you have to write it, then your role as a technical person. What the project may you involve in the design and all. But you can say just I am project manager. Sometimes, frankly speaking, in other countries, most of the technical projects are run by non-engineering project managers. I am not going to say that it is right or wrong. But project director and project engineer is a specialized person. For electrical engineering project, he is a specialized person. Telecom is a specialized. But project manager, good that he is from that background, but neither. Not a mandate. It's not a mandate. Project manager's job is to deliver not to design the project. He's just an implement. He is implementing the project. He is a facilitator. Actually, project here, what is relevant for us is project engineer. Sometimes he may be a designing. Sometimes he may be a engineer who is doing the acceptance, operation. Sometimes you may be operation engineer, but you are enrolling the project from beginning because you have to accept this project at the end of the day. Because then you must know how the transformer is tested, how this data center is tested, whether these tested requirements are tallying with agreements, etc. Right? Okay. I hope that short and sweet. I don't have to read the discussion. I have found. Is that so? Right? Is that so? I don't want to tell you the culture flow. 7 in 6 alert. How the transistor amplifier works, how that electrical distribution line established, how a generator is worked. Because you are really learned members. Okay, thank you very much. But that is a question and answer.
I think Now, time for us to got the proper question if you have
Can you hear us? As you can hear now? Okay. You can use this mic as well, my mic.
so yeah, okay. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this session, it's time for the question and answer part. After that session, yeah. So it has been a very interesting session by Engineer Sarath. Now, let me initiate this question and answer session by a very generic question, but requiring a specific answer from Engineer Sarath. This was though explained during the presentation of you. It would be better if you can just summarize a bit and answer. I know that everyone is interested in getting chartered engineer, this particular charter, but why is it so required to have this chartered engineer?
Well, it is one thing is a legal requirement. You cannot practice as a chartered engineer, you cannot sign any document without obtaining a charter. Right? That is the one answer, legal. Another one is having a charter, you have a self-confidence, self-motivated person. I'm a chartered engineer. When the day become, when the day I become a chartered engineer, when I became a chartered engineer, actually that I even I was delighted. I was delighted. Why is it? Because I know that I have self-confidence. I'm a complete man. I can talk to anyone without any fear. I can take over any responsibility. I know that I am evaluated by a very competent panel and esteemed institution. So that confidence. Right? That's what.
It's a very nice answer, Engineer Sarath. One more question. Now, once it is of course important for an engineer to make sure that he provides a professional service. This professional conduct is utmost important. So now, are there ways to lose this chartered engineer? Your conduct is not up to a certain standard. Is there a way? Now it is important that you
Yes,
aspire to get
yes,
this.
and now
but is there a way to lose it also?
yes. Now, for example, now in an institution, now bylaws, according to the bylaw, they have made us a charity. If my professional conduct is bad, somebody can prove it with the evidence. Institution has the right to withdraw my title. Like anywhere in the country, any other province. Unfortunately, it is not happened in Sri Lanka. Good that not happened. I am very proud of charity. But I have a strong belief that now our engineers, okay, charity. 99% may be good, but 1% may be corrupt and bad. If he or she engage with the corrupt practices, misconduct, then we'll have to take action. Then only others also will take it. Otherwise, it is unfair to the people who do the great job. I No, I am not agree with to give a punishment to the people, but only thing why we are punishing it, because we have in this society, we should have a places for the people who are not committed sin. People who engage with the good deeds must be differentiated from the people who engage with the bad deeds. That is your Lord Buddha and Jesus also told. Similar to that, if you give the charter, no one can say that it is a lifetime. If you don't use it, do it properly, engage it properly, your business, then your title can be removed.
I think there has to be a way of
There is the way. There's a way. It is defined in the bylaw.
well, I think there are a few questions from the audience. Or is it possible for us to get further questions from the audience? Meanwhile, we have Engineer Dhananjaya. Over to you to post some questions to Engineer Sarah.
Engineers makes mistakes.
Well, yes, in our life, we all are not the saints. Without sohang elot man, so we can do a lot of. But the important thing is, you learn through the mistakes. The question is repeating the mistakes, not the doing mistakes. Right? The mistakes can be allowed, of course. You are made of human beings. But if you don't do, if you learn the lesson out of this, you'll never do that mistake. That is why I'm telling you, when you during the training period, you can do a lot of mistakes. But once you become a chartered engineer, you are not allowed to do that. Not allowed, not allowed, allowed is not the correct word. One thing, society will never accept from you to do that.
So, as you say, and also make mistakes, but we love to face them as learning experience.
Yes, exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Engineer Sarat has been serving as analyst in functional review process
Yes.
more than 15 years. In your experience, what are the most frequently seen learning experiences from
The mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah, most of the mistake is that when you write the report, you assume that my report is perfect. You assume that my report is perfect, right? So basically, you must show it to your friend, and the colleague of his buddy, engineer, or your senior. For sometimes you can ask from your English teacher for the knowledge. Teacher means sometimes they are good report writers that so you can show them that is tell me my mistake. Then they can, because sometimes when I do that, I can't see my mistake. That is number one. Then they are preparing it for the 11th hour. And that is also another point. And when they are answering also, they don't answer to the point. Then I explain what is your role. You will have to explain your role in the capital. Not your role to give the work to your supervisor. I have to say that my role is to, for example, telecommunication engineer say, you can say, I have to oversee my entire network to make sure that but it's a trouble-free network. We should not allow to have a high fault rate. More than this. And even a customer complaint rate should be as far as low, and even a customer complaint, all it should be rectified within a minimum time. That kind of answer. Not that asking, I hand over post to some other gang, or then they will do that. Not that. So it is a contractor's job. If you hand over the contractor, no. If you hand over the contractor, he must ensure that the contractor does the proper. Because end of the day, contractor not the responsible, you are the responsible. Yeah, you can use it.
we put a lot of information in that slides. So where can one get most updated information regarding the
It is a PR rule book. Go to the membership. There is a PR process.
there is a separate section in the
Separate section. You can go to the website. But it is like a Bible, and it's but you have to read it. Right? And I share my presentation after doing some mistakes. And I share the presentation with you all.
So I think we have a question from the audience. That question we can ask them. Okay. So while we are getting that question, Engineer Sarat, so we have at the end of this chartered engineer part, we have a question. What are the disadvantages and disadvantages of becoming an electrical chartered engineer versus building service chartered engineer who specialize in electrical as the main field?
It's a question is not very clear to me. Now, as but anyway, I can answer this one. This is a little bit controversial question. Now, if you are only when you pass out from a university, then your main discipline is a chartered electrical or telecommunication. Right? But as a country, as world is developing that, there are certain categories we require building service engineer. But their service is limited to the building service part only. So therefore, now, but in case of chartered electrical engineer, you can work as chartered engineer anywhere, like a substation and telecommunication data center, etc. But in Sri Lanka, some certain regulation requirement is that you have a building service. You must name should go to the building service directory or building service chartered engineer. So that is the advantage and disadvantage. I can't say it's having a disadvantage, but in a electrical engineer, if you get only building service engineer, only then you can't practice in it. For example, if I'm electrical engineer, I can get the building service engineer charter. But you cannot work in the grid software. You can work in the data center. That is the so therefore, my opinion, first you will come to the main field, first you get the electrical charter. Subsequently, that you are working in the building, you can get it. So therefore, first thing, get the main discipline charter first. That's all.
So when it comes to the interview process, final interview process, we hope that all the applicants will pass. But what happens when the panel decides that a certain applicant is lacking in some area?
Well, we'll have to repeat. We have to, when we panel decide that after how many months he should face to the interview again. I have forgotten to tell that after Viva, we will normally set a paper, question paper. Now the question paper normally, we provide 2 questions, you have to answer only 1 question. But the question is normally we prepare, panelists they prepare the question. It is not a ready-made question. It is a question based on the interview, based on your report. Then you will have to answer to the point. Then I don't think that is a problem. It is just a check about whether you have your analytical skills and give an answer within short period of time.
This question from the audience.
So good evening.
Yes,
As an example,
I'm Tamil here.
it's not
Can you audible? Are you audible? Hello?
Yeah.
I think you are audible. I'm Tamil.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can answer.
Yes. Sir, can you shed some light on the CPD's CPD requirement as well? Thank you.
Yes, it is. I have a number of hours. There's a number of hours to be given by the PR manual. But in you are emphasizing how to get the CPD. Am I correct, Kamil?
Yes.
Yeah. In the CPD, it means Confederation for Development. I recommend you follow the most of the ISL recommended CPDs. For example, like electrical engineer, any electrical engineer should know the electrical installation practice. That is the common to everyone, even electronics engineers. And some other, like sometimes you can, your organization will send you some of the CPDs outside in the technical name. Those are there. And some webinars, but not all the webinars. Any CPD should be close, should be linked with the 5 attributes. For example, if you go to the seminar, the lightning, how the prevent the lightning damages, or sometimes how the grid substation is that protection is provided for the grid substation protection or lightning protection, data center protection. And definitely that your competency level will go up. So that's what I think Engineer Kamil, is that okay for you?
Yes, thank you. And also, there are some questions in the chat box as well. Even now, or you may handle this question later. Please state the eligibility criteria for the international professional engineer status. If let's say somebody is going to get the charter next year, so what will be the eligibility criteria for him to become international professional engineer?
Kamil, if I remembered correctly, there is a 3-year minimum post-charter experience is
Yes.
3.
Yes.
And
yes.
only thing is these 5 attributes will be checked. Which means that we are checking after obtaining the charter. When you write the report for the international professional engineer, you'll have to ensure that you have to give the more emphasizing. You have to emphasize more in your post-charter experience rather than pre-charter. That is, you will have to write the report very precisely using the international terminology and your achievement and how those link with the competencies, how this your achievement gain those competencies to work in international practice, especially safety and the standards. As an electrical engineer, you are dealing with mostly IEC standard, IET standard. Telecommunication engineer deal with IEEE standard, ITU standards. Those things, I'm not going to say that right or this, but you are conversant with key areas of the standards. That's the ground.
as an example, assume that one engineer working in Sri Lanka, but he has foreign charter qualification. But under the ISL PR guide, as I mentioned, 5.7, he can apply for the charter
Direct route.
direct route from with the report plus Viva, I think.
Okay.
But case is assume that his working station is not recognized by the ISL. So is it a problem for him to get the submit the experience report?
Well, yes. Now normally, when you come to the foreign charter like IET, that B paper is exempted, right? Now then, after that, the A paper also exempted, but only thing he has to
Report.
report. Yes, you now on the eligibility, because he has become a charter in the other country, not other country, UK charter. Now the question comes as whether yes, he can apply, but that is the interview panel have a key role to play. Whether we have to verify that particular charter he has really obtained it by showing his merit. We assume that the merit, but sometimes he has forgotten. But at the time he has get only the IET charter, for example, but it does not mean that we automatically transfer the interview, the rigorous process. Because we assume that with a good faith, his competence is evaluated by that particular institute. We trust it. However, please note that his educational qualification to become a MISL should be very important. Even he get the UK charter, but he has not obtained the MISL requirement, then he in the eligibility stage, please drop. Okay.
So example, he already got the A myself through the general qualifying stage as a non-accredited degree program. He
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
and got the associate membership.
Yeah.
After somewhat senior, and he has working experience in 10 years likewise, but he got the AMISL after 10 years applying the qualifying exams.
Yeah.
So, this type of people's what is the best way to apply charter? But after get the AMISL, he not more experience, but he has engineering experience and 5 competencies in more than 10 years.
Okay, good question. Thing is this. I will tell you one thing. No, I am not undermining anything. Say a nurse has become a doctor after 18 years, after completing the nursing service, he has become a doctor. What is his experience? As a nurse, 18. Not doctor, as a nurse, 18 years. But after obtaining qualification, only 1. So therefore, experience should be measured and evaluated. I can say I am experienced. He also can say I work in a certain field, but as an ISL point of view, we have to be very careful. So then we'll have to show that we consider his experience from the point he got that. Okay. Sometimes there may be that abnormal cases, extreme cases and late developers. But only thing is, if you are going to address it, some enclosures will go in the system. So we can't take them. So therefore, that is the answering. The experience we count from the point he has obtained a AMI.
So it is the case that he got showing the whole competencies and got the foreign charter in more than 10 years.
Yes, yeah, true. What the thing is this, your good name? Engineer Lasara, you good point. That is very good that you say just straightforward question. Thing is this, and now we are not foreign, I'm not undermining any, but their framework and our framework totally different. You know why? The reason is here. My justification, not increase my justification. Now, country like England, you can easily get the charter, but you cannot easily get the job. Because in the rigorous interview process, even you get the charter, they don't consider your school. They don't consider what is your father is doing. They don't consider from which background you are. They do the thorough evaluation to job level. But Sri Lanka is the other way. Sometimes nepotism, favorism. So therefore, if we tolerate at the charter level, the biggest mistake will happen in life. That is why in the other developed countries, their charter may be little bit linear than us. What? Why? They know even they give the charter, when you deploy the job, that is the employer has a very thorough evaluation. We are Sri Lanka, we don't have it. Except for a few cases. That is my answer. Therefore, sometimes I am going to say we should be rigid. We must be firm. I think
Sarah.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of crucial aspects in becoming a chartered engineer.
Yeah.
And one of those aspects is finding a supervisor or a mentor.
wonderful.
So let us say that you're working in an organization that there is no chartered engineers
Yeah,
present.
yeah, correct.
Or you are working a job as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
freelance engineer where it is not possible to find a
Okay.
supervisor.
Yeah.
So what happens then?
Then you have to find a mentor route. Mentor route.
As I understand, there is a mentor scheme.
Mentor scheme is there. Yeah.
So through that,
Yeah, only thing is little bit time is required, but if we start with the particular at the time, sharp now, for example, knowing the, for example, I am working in a bank. I in a bank, no chartered engineer. But I know that no. When I work in the bank, I know. So then I can start after 4 years time. I can start with that. So sometimes earlier there was a system, you can get the 1 second one. But nowadays it is very not practical. I can remember when I worked in the telecom, one of my junior person, he was going civil. But telecom is not a recognized place of civil. But telecom here, 1 second month, telecom has sent him to a building department. After 2 years time, he came back with the chart. So those are, but only thing is nowadays it is very difficult for the private sector organization, they don't allow. So they are finding a mentorship. But I think we have to review this process. Exactly, because I say 5 years time. But so therefore, when you are reviewing, we have to review it without dropping the structure. I have seen one question, when we have the responsibility more than 20 marks, should the report cover only 24 marks? No, you can write the report only 20 balance marks as well. Even you cover the 24 marks is all right, but if you are writing the more than 20, no harm. Yeah. Of course, you can find a good mentor. Because if you engage in engineering practice, even a freelancer can engage in engineering practice. You can find a good mentor and do that.
yes, you have to find someone who is specialized in that particular area.
Yeah. For example, say if you are if anyone working in the electrical engineering, if they want to appoint me as a mentor, I am mostly welcome. I support. Not only me, I am telling. There are more in engineering. Yeah, example. Only thing is people are not calling and asking the help. That is not a one question.
So there's another question. How can we convert our experience we had in an electronic engineering company without chartered engineer in the entire organization?
I did not clear the question.
I think what he's trying to ask, Yeah, I think it's about mentor. Now, what he's saying, he's working for a electronic engineering company,
Yeah.
but there are no chartered engineers in the entire
Okay.
organization.
I can understand. So is the mentoring good?
Mentoring group.
Yeah.
Any other questions from you, Engineer Dhananjay? Any other questions from the audience? Okay, there's one more. Right, yeah, let's take this as our final question. Okay. This is a question. Whether we can convert our past experience.
Yeah, see, based on your mentor, that is a mentor can give that is what is the outline and he can certify your work. For example, if I mentor you, if you appoint me, not you appoint, if you propose me as a mentor, I should appoint as a mentor, I should approve it. So then I can evaluate your experience and I can consider your experience, so I can write my mentoring mentor's report. That is, you have certain experience. I have tested and I will write it with evidence.
I think it's very important, y'all asking these questions. And we have a very well experienced person in Engineer Sarat, who had been a panelist in the PR process conducted by ISL. Thank you very much, Engineer Sarat, for your time. I would like to call our Secretary of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Sector Committee, Engineer Kosala, to hand over special moment to our resource person, Engineer Sarat.
Before winding up, I want to thank you to everyone. And if you have any question, please note down my telephone number, not 71 47 not 71 47 36 791. And can also allow someone create a WhatsApp what we call the business account for this particular group, so they can post a question. Right. So either post seminar, post seminar chat we can open. Right.
Sarat, there is one more question.
Yeah.
And IEET, IESL chartered engineer signed to IESL diary.
Can IET chartered engineer sign to IESL diary or experience? Yes, the only thing is it should be countersigned by one of your proposals. Can sign, but it should be countersigned by
Always comes to a
chartered engineer IESL. But he can write, because if you are my boss, as you have only foreign charter, you can sign my report. Only thing is then there should be a proposal. The proposal should sign. Sorry, verified and endorsed. I think what the point.
I think that's all from the audience. So if you have, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any more further questions, we'll
Open up,
put our email address in the chat box. So you can send all your queries to our email address.
Yeah.
With that note, I would like to hand over the session back to Engineer Mark.
Thank you, Engineer Dhananjay. It's the moment for us to appreciate the great time and knowledge shared by Engineer Sarat. Engineer Sarat, please. Thank you very much, Engineer Kosala.
Thank you very much.
Engineer Kosala is the Secretary of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Sector Committee. Thank you very much, Engineer Sarat, for your valuable time. Thank you very much, Engineer Dhananjay, for taking up the question and answer session. It's the time for me to invite Engineer Kausala to deliver the vote of thanks.
Attaining the charter qualification is undoubtedly pinnacle, almost the pinnacle of the career of an engineer anywhere in the world. So today's session is for sure is one of the most sought after sessions in our calendar. So thank you, Engineer P.W. Sarath, for your valuable contribution and guidance. He's the Vice President of IESL. And I should thank the moderators of today's event, Engineer Milinda, he's a practicing attorney, and Engineer Dhananjay Samarasekara, he's a technical consultant at Technomedics Group. And I should thank Engineer Dr. Kamal Afsari, the President of IESL, for his valuable guidance and support. And I should thank the staff of IESL, led by the Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Neil Abeysekara, and the participants of today's event, both online and physical. With that, we would like to wind up this session. And in the meantime, I would like to invite you to be with us and tune in with the events that electrical, electronics, and communication section can be organized. Thank you and goodbye.